Okay, hello everybody. Good afternoon. Yeah, it is afternoon for me. It's 12:31. It's Saturday and I'm here at the studio and I do not have a class, and so I'm getting the opportunity to just come over here and just kind of work with you in this project that I wanted to share. So I'm hoping you are having a wonderful Saturday. Um, Gotta get a little bit of water here. Okay, and today I thought, we have so many good free patterns and free resources out there that I thought of coming in here and kind of go over a tutorial on this blog. And so it is by QuiltD Studios, Jessica Rose. I love everything that she does. I love her very, very modern style. And so she has this in her blog, which I linked in the description of the video, and so you can go get it. But this is more of a visual. I feel I'm a very visual learner, so I like to watch videos, and that's how I have learned to quilt, and that's how I have learned to make bags through like the video tutorials and everything. So I did print out the instructions that she has in the blog. And so one thing is just that you can just kind of go in the link and go to the blog, to the direct blog that is the Flying Start. And so what the finished product is going to look, I'm gonna, I'm gonna make it here. This is the block that we're making. I think it's extremely cute. And on top of it, I love what she did with it. And so there's like a two series of blocks where she created these a decent sized block. It's a 15-inch block, which is very big. And then after she created it, the following block was a reusable grocery bag or grocery tote bag. And I think that's a genius idea of using orphan blocks. I think that, or creating a blog and making a quilty bag of it, even if it's not a reusable grocery bag, if you just want to create a simple tote bag. And so I think that that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to create that. And then not next week, because next week I do have a class in the studio, but the following Saturday, will with the panels that I create, uh, I'm gonna come up here live, and we're going to just um, create a tote bag from scratch. No pattern, nothing like that. We're just gonna wing it. And I think that's fun because that's kind of like our creative nature. Everybody that is in this beautiful hobby, that's what we like to do. We like to be creative, and we like sometimes just create things on our own, what we would like to do. And so I am going to start. So, as I said, I'm going to follow exactly what she has in the pattern. I'm not going to vary it on anything. So, the only thing I'm going to show you is that I already did pre-cut all my fabrics to make it a little faster. So, in the current, in the supply, she says that to make only a single flying star block, you need a fat quarter or a 1/4 of a yard for a background fabric. So in this, I'm going to use this beautiful dark blue fabric that has like little stars. And then you need a fat quarter or 1/4 of a yard of a color A fabric. And so this is also my light fabric. It's beautiful. It just pairs so beautiful with it. Um, this fabric I got from kind of like a a club, a subscription. Is a private print. Is not something. Is not like a Free Spirits or Moda or anything like that. This is just a private group, and I think it's beautiful. It was like Cinderella inspired fabrics, because like every time they release or the monthly, I think it's called Freaking Fabulous. Nah, I can't remember the name of it, but anyways, so it tells us that with a fat quarter of a contrasting fabric and a background, we're gonna be able to create this 15 inch block. And what we need is that we need to have three um, 7 3/4 of an inch squares. So three of the color fabrics like this, and three of the background fabrics like this. Okay. So I got those already cut and here ready for us to start sewing. And then it asked us for eight, let me see here, eight of the background fabrics. These are 3 inch squares. So 3 inch squares and the quantity is eight. You need eight of those. And then you're gonna need eight of 3 inch squares from the fabric, on the contrasting fabric. So eight of the background, just right here, and eight of the color fabric that you chose for your project. I'm thinking I want to make this for like my daughter for like summer school, and so I think it will be very pretty for her. So I'm excited to make that for her. And so what the pattern has us do is that we're going to create eight at a time half square triangles. And so we are going to take two, one, not two, one of each color, one square of each color of 7 3/4. And we are going to, I'm going to press them a little more so that they're flatter. I'm just going to here give them a bit of a better press. I might have to use, I have here some starch. I like this best press, but I dilute it. I do a 50-50. But I did pre-starch my fabrics, but I also like to continue to starch them while I'm working on them. Especially because when we're making eight at a time, try half square triangles, we're working with bias and they can get a little, you know, wavy. And so having the fabric starched a little bit gives them a little bit more body, and it's going to be easier to handle the stretchiness of the bias of the fabric, because not all, due to the cuts that we're going to do, then we're now going to be working with just straight grain on the fabric. So I'm just going to press this really nicely, like so. Okay. And then now we're gonna place them right sides together, right? And then with a ruler, we're going to, oh my goodness, why is this not? Okay. I think we're good. Just making sure that everything's nice and straight. And then now you can either use a fabric marker or you can use a regular pen. However, I'm going to use a regular pen because I'm going to do it in the darker fabric. So even if it bleeds, it's not going to show. So you're just going to, and plus to show you, for you to see better when I create this. It will show better in the camera once I mark it, so you guys get to see it. Then I should remove the best press out of the view, huh? Okay, so we got this. All right. And then we are going to create this X. And what we're gonna do is that we're going to sew out a scan 1/4 inch on each side. So we gotta be very precise, and we're gonna mark 1/4 inch on each side of the middle line that we drew in the back of the fabric. So 1/4 inch. And so we're just gonna sew right inside of that line to make sure this a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then I'm gonna just right here. You can use your presser foot to do or have a diagonal seam tape. I do not have one on my machine that I'm using. So this is the reason why I'm just marking my seam allowance so that I am very precise on it. And I'm gonna go right in the inside because it's a scan. So I wanna go a little less. So I'm just going to follow that. And that will repeat with all of the 3 squares. So you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just prepare all of them so we can sew them all together. Very good. And I'm just creating the X on the remaining squares, like so. And they gotta be right size together. And whichever fabrics are not really flat, make sure you press them because that will make your sewing and cutting very accurate. Especially because we're counting that we're gonna get 8 half square triangles out of these squares. So, and we're gonna just draw this. Perfect. And then we'll turn around. And do that. Now I'm gonna mark my seam allowances so that way I'm ready to go to the sewing machine with all of them. And I'm marking my seam allowance with the green. Just to kind of make a difference, but it doesn't matter. You can draw it with the same pen. I guess in a way I'm being OCD. So I feel like this is a fun, super cute block to create. It just looks so pretty. Jessica is super talented on creating patterns. And I just thought it would be a good idea to kind of accompany it with this a small video tutorial. Mark nice so. And now we're marking all of it. Very good. Now I will be able to sew all of them together. All right. So now we'll start. Now we turn it around. We're gonna sew on that other line. I am going right before the line starts to make sure I get the 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. The skin. That's what I meant to say. Okay. So now we'll go on the other one, the other side. Once again, I'm gonna go in the inside of my markings for a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I just cut the thread here so that it lays flat. There we go. And turn it around. I'm gonna have to go on this side because I didn't sew it properly. I went too skinny. There we go. That one's done. And now, as you can see, I'm gonna show I have sewn on each side of the line. And to mark that X, I'm gonna start and repeat this with the 3 squares. What happened here? The fabric got all weird. You know, it's like when you're live and you get all of the different issues. That's what happens. But it's okay. We're gonna rethread fabric. Seems like, okay. Not or fabric or thread. All right, I'm going to rethread the machine, making sure just everything is good. It doesn't have any sort of weird noise. I'm gonna just cut some of that. I don't need that extra thread. I'm gonna just run it here. And then we start again. We're gonna go right there. There we go. There we go. And so now on the other side. Gonna finish that other mark. Gonna cut threads. Very good. There we go. All right. And now we're going to, as I said, I have sewn them. I have created that X. So now we're gonna finish the third one, making sure everything's still very lined up. So we wanna make sure we gotta get 3-inch square triangles from this. So, oops, my thread was okay. A lot of people doesn't like to lick their threads or anything. I am a licker, so my apologies. I know anybody that is against germs. Yes, that's just how I roll. My foot pedal moved out of the way. I'm gonna turn it around like that. Oops, my iron fell. Oops, we don't want that in the carpet. It will burn. Sorry for that. Just working on getting on the other side. I guess I'm just gonna leave it like that. There we go. One more seam and then we'll be done with the 3 squares. Very good. So now I'm going to just snip my threads like so. Just gonna get them out of the way, a little bit cleaned up. All right. And so now what the step 2 is to cut or square. So now we are going to cut the squares in half and half again. So this is going to help us. So I'm going to just kind of keep things straight. Now maybe if you line it and you kind of find the half of your fabrics and press it. making sure it goes through the center. And then you go the center again, right on the middle intersection. And so then you're gonna cut right there in the middle seam. And before you cut them in half, and in half again, make sure that you are very certain that that's the middle of your block. Okay. So now I'm gonna cut that in half again. Make sure that you're nice and straight. And then you go and cut them. And then now that we have that marked line, then you just cut those lines in half. And that's how we get 8, 4, 6, and 8. And it's very, very good. And now we'll repeat this operation with the other two. So we're gonna find right the middle in both sides, horizontally and vertically, just like the diagram shows us. I'm not doing anything that is not in the pattern in the blog. So it kind of shows you how to cut. You're gonna cut vertically and horizontally, and then on the draw lines that you did. So that's, I am making my guides and just making sure straight, not try not to move it. Very good. And I'll go over. And then now, if you kind of want to save some time and cut them all at one time, we just kind of lay them one after the other like this. Like, see, like this. And so they're all lined up. And then you put your ruler in it, and then you're gonna cut all of them at the same time. Then you have those. And then we have to cut the last one. Just going very quickly. You could create a big quilt with this rather quickly. I mean, you could do, if it's 15 inches finish, you can do 30, 45, 3 by 3, and it will be a good baby quilt with, you know, three blocks going horizontally and 3 rows going vertically, and then that will turn out to be a very cute quilt. I think it will be a very beautiful quilt, especially for a baby quilt. This size would be perfect, or if you want to make a throw size one, and then you can add another column to it, and then another column and another row, and then we're talking about being a 4 by 4, and that is going to be 55 inches square, which I think it will look, it will be a pretty good size. And then on here we can try to do the same thing that we did last time, which was lining them all together and just cutting right at one time. Yeah. And then if you cut all at once, And then we have all of the eights, right? And now we're gonna press them open. So I'm gonna move my iron in a little bit, and then I'm gonna press them to the darks. I'm gonna press my squares, and then we're gonna trim to a 3-inch square. And so this is how our triangles or half square triangles are looking. Oh, I gotta turn it on. I was like, why isn't that warm? Well, it was off. So that's one of the features that's kind of cool about the needle oliso iron, is that ability to turn off and on for safety reasons. That's a very, very cool. And so we're just gonna take our time and iron all of our squares. Just press them. If you wanna use clappers, this is a perfect opportunity to use sewing clappers if that's something that you're interested in doing, for them to lay flatter. I don't have some at my studio. I should get some for my studio because I do like using them, especially for half square triangles and when you make them this way because of the bias edges. I just do like doing it. So now, because they don't, and I'm gonna show you, they kind of don't lay super flat. They kind of get a little bit wavy, and that's because of the bias edge. You just want to press the seam. I don't always press the seam. Don't let bad habits from me. Press your seams and then press to the dark side. Some people press open, that's your preference. And I'll start pressing open once I know there's gonna be a lot of bulk, and then I start pressing open just to kind of avoid that. Man. So we are going to have 32 of these half square triangles, and that's how many we're gonna need to create our the fly and start block. And like so. And so. Getting there. We have about 5 more to press. We're getting closer. And then we're gonna trim all of our half square triangles to the desired measurement, which is 3 inches, as I mentioned. And then we're gonna do that. Now we got 3 more to go. Always towards the dark side. It looks so pretty. These fabrics are very gorgeous. And so now that we have pressed all of our half square triangles, I have my square ruler. And when you're trimming half square triangles, this is the most important part. You need to have this diagonal line in any of your rulers. So you're gonna place you're gonna place your half square triangles right on that line. The seam has to be right on that black line, like I'm showing it to you. And then you're going to um, line it up so for the 3-inch mark, and then you're gonna trim. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna move this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm lining that line right there, and I have just a little bit of wiggle room there that I'm gonna trim. So I'm gonna trim this side and this side. Make sure you have a brand new ruler, blade for your rotary cutter. I'm going to change my rotary cutter to have a new blade. I'm gonna use this one so that way I have a new blade. Then I rotate my block and I measure 3 inches, like so. Then I'm gonna trim here, make sure it doesn't move around. 3 there, and I'm going to double check. 28. Sorry, I said 36. No, we need 28 of these half square triangles. And so I'm gonna triple check these two. We have plenty of wiggle room here. There we go. We got one, and we can kind of set it and press it, and it's nice and neat. So we need 28, and we need to trim them so that they look just like this. And then we're going to do that same process with all of them. We're gonna put the ruler right on the middle seam, the line, and then it kind of goes, and then we go 3, making sure 3 is good. I'm gonna measure this again to make sure it's nice and consistent. There we go. And then we keep trimming away. See if you have any questions. I am here to answer while I trim all of my half square triangles to 3 inches. So let's see, we're trimming to 3 inches, all of them. So this is what we got left, and this is what we're trimming. So we're not wasting too much fabric, but it is important to have wiggle room because, as again, we are working with, oh, ouchie, I just hit myself with the sewing machine on my funny bone. As we're working with bias edges, as I mentioned, is important so that we can trim and that we can have them nice and accurate, because they can get kind of wavy and kind of weird looking. like so, and we just keep at it. It's a very repetitive, and in order to make the block, we need to have all our pieces done. But this is cool because I feel like when you watch videos on YouTube, and it makes sense to make the video shorter, you can skip of all of these repetitions and you edit all of this process out. But sometimes it's nice to see that we all go at our own pace. We're not machines and it takes time. And we can only sew and cut as fast as our hands and brace allow us to, so that way we keep track of what we're doing. And that's part of the quilting process. It's part of the fun, and I really love because you get to I watch a lot of Jenny Dawn. I love Jenny. And she says that you get into these mantras when you're like doing all of these repetitive cutting and prepping and working on that. And so just kind of keeping yourself accurate, secure. Mistakes are going to happen. That's inevitable, and that's okay. She also says, I think she's so wise. As you can tell, I am a fan. Always admire her. I admire the business as a whole. I think is just incredible that they have been able to stay together as a family and build such a successful business altogether. So I think it's fabulous. And an example to follow, which I think we need this in life, seeing good examples. Yeah. And so I just keep myself triple checking that I have my 3-inch from that. And this is a new rotary cutter, so I'm like getting used to it, but I think I'm good. I was just listening to the latest Inappropriate Quilters podcast episode with Jenny. And it was just wonderful. All of the advice that Jenny has to share. And said, like, you don't start doing quilting perfectly. It's always a process, and we all make mistakes, and you gotta find what works for you in regards of tools, what makes sense to your brain. And so they are easier tools for you to use when it comes to trimming half square triangles. They have the slatted trimmers, the slatted trimmer A and B. And then we have the block lock. There's also rulers where you cut the triangles exactly and then you sew them. And that's also a way to. But if you don't mind trimming and squaring your half square triangle, you can create a lot more faster, especially with these kind of projects that demand you to have quite a few of them. Oops, I wasn't quite lined up there. I'm gonna move it a little bit more here. There we go. And then we lined up, and then lined up, and then we turn around. Another useful notion or tool for doing this trimming is using a rotating cutter, rotary, not rotary cutter, a rotating mat, self-healing mat. Because that way you don't have to move the block, you just move. You just move the mat instead of the block. And I guess that way it's easier. I don't know if easier or faster. The the mat that I have underneath me, it is a rotating mat, but I don't have the room to be in to rotating it, so I'm using it just like a permanent standard rotary self-healing mat, the cutting mat. And keep doing it. Let's see, we got here. It's Saturday, so everybody's quiet today. It's all good. Got a lot of projects in mind that I want to get done, but I wanted to come up here and share some projects. I'm gonna just move around all those streamings. There's some people I seen reels on Instagram or on Facebook of people that save um, these little trimmings and then they create cool projects with them. They put them in like tool and then they create like um, uh, not not table runners to decorate your table to put the plate like a plate holder, but that has a name I can't remember. And I think that's so creative and cool of like just being very conscious of fabric waste. And it's a really way to be sustainable. I'm gonna see. We're getting there. We have only a few left. We're making progress. And then I'll turn around my project. And just have a few more to go. And again, we're trimming to 3 inch. That's our measurement that we're going for because that's the measurement that the pattern calls for this project. As this initial squares that we cut were 3 inches. So the key here is gonna be on the layout, a very simple layout. So we're gonna kind of form star legs. So that's gonna look very cool. And we're creating. So we're gonna lay it all out, and then we're going to sew it in rows. And then we're gonna sew it and then get it all together. So I'm gonna see. I'm thinking of how we can chain piece it to make it. And I'm sure that we can do that. When we have it laid out, I'll see how we can chain piece and make it work that way. I think that would be easier to not cut the thread. It will go faster. We got two more. Hooray! We're in the home stretch of coding. And so from this point forward, it's laying out the blog and sewing it together, which that's the easy part. That's the part that we like. We all like the most. Just being able to sew everything together and create this blog. And then in about 2 weeks, I'll come back on and we'll go through the creating the toe back process, because I think that's gonna be very fun. All right. Okay, so then couple more. Bear with me. This is the hardest part, I promise. I guess not. I want to say the hardest. I would say the more repetitive part or the boring part. What you think about it? And this, I'm just here doing that, and then we're gonna go and do this. Very good, very good. 3 inches. And this is our last one for that. Perfect. And yes, your hands start to hurt for a little bit. But sometimes that's why it's easy to like take a little break. And then now we're just gonna lay or block. And so I'm gonna start from the top and I'm gonna do it backwards so you can see it the right way. So I'm gonna go one right here, and then it's gonna go with the light. No. Oh, I think I'm gonna just, we're gonna go right here. So we're gonna follow. I'm gonna follow the pattern to create it. So we're gonna start with the very first row. And so the first row goes, I'm gonna do it through here so you can see. We're gonna do a 3-inch square, and then we're going to place 1/2 square triangle with the light color fabric facing down, going down, and then we're going to do another half square triangle with the same way with the light color going down. And then in this one, we also going to put the half square triangle with the light color going that way, so we can create these ones are creating the star legs. As you can see that it's creating the lights are creating the star leg. Then we go right here, and then we go again with What did I do with my dark? Oh, they fell. I'm like, what happened? They fell. And then we got one dark. So that's our first row, like so. All right, perfect. And then we're gonna start with our second row. So then we have a half square triangle with the dark going down on the second row. That's how we start. And then we have a light color square, like so. And then we have the half square triangles. The dark is gonna go towards the bottom. All right. And then we're gonna put that other half square triangle following that. And then we have another light square. And then we have a half square triangle going this way. So that's our second row. Then we're gonna go on our third row, which is going to follow the same of that of, and the half square triangle is gonna go this way with the dark facing down. And then we're gonna do a half square triangle with the dark facing up, going up. And then we go with a half square triangle with the, the dark facing down, and another dark facing down. And then we do a square, a dark one going up, and then a dark color going down. And then we go with the dark going up and the light going down. Then I have square triangle with the dark going down, like so, and then dark going up to create. So we're trying to create this diamond shape right here in the center. So that's what we're creating right now. I'm gonna move my stars. I'm gonna move the camera so you can see it. Oops, I don't know why it's shifting on me this way. I am excuse. There we go. So I'm just moving it up so that we can fit it all together. So, and we're going to create that diamond shape in the center right here. Just creating that diamond shape right there, as you can see it right there. And then we just keep moving, and that one is in the wrong way. Very good. And you just follow the pattern just like I am. That is weird. I don't think I'm gonna have enough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Am I missing something? I think I am. It didn't. All right. I'm gonna see How do we create? Okay, so then now that one, and we go dark up there, dark up there, this one dark, light, and that one up. So I need, so I think I need two in the corner, and I think I'm gonna have to just use these ones that we cut just to create two. We need one, two, two, four more. Two, three, okay. And so now these little ones that we have here is to create the rest of the ones that we were missing. So these ones are gonna help us create right here. And so we're gonna sew right on the seam line on the half. So I'm gonna just fold that in half. And that's how we're gonna complete. We're gonna sew right of it, and then we're gonna cut right a quarter of an inch away from that sew line. And that's why we were missing, because we needed to create the other half square triangles. And okay, I'm gonna go right on that. Mhm. They keep falling. Keep falling. I'm going to just iron this, and we're just going to keep sewing, chain sewing. That's how fast. That's the faster way. And then now we sew all four of them. And we're gonna cut them. And that's the reason why we were missing four. We're supposed to create them with the squares, with four of the squares. And so now you can either use your scissors or um, use your rotary cutter. I have my mat busy, so I'm just using my scissors. And then that should stay 3 inches. I'm gonna double check. Pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. And so that one goes down. Then I'm going to just cut a quarter of an inch. Press. And that goes, it goes that way. Perfect. The same with this one. I'm just gonna cut a quarter of an inch and a quarter of an inch. And you can keep those or just toss them. Up to you. And then just press those ones that you just made to complete your design. I'm kind of like, I'm a little like flow by the seat of my pants kind of a girl. So I don't follow much rules. This one got a little wonky, but we'll make it fit. Okay, so that one goes this way, and this one goes this way. Okay, and so now we have all the or stuff, and now we're going to just sew by rows. So we're gonna sew this one with this one. And we're gonna chain piece. We're gonna chain piece at 1/4 inch. Oh, well, if the machine has thread, that will work, right? So to chain piece the block, oh, I'm gonna go over that in a bit. Just let me rethread my machine here. There we go. I'm gonna put that up and we rethread in again. There we go. Just gonna cut a bit of it. I don't need such a long thread. Now we're going to just making sure that we keep it the way it needs to. So now we're sewing the very first row. I don't know why it keeps on threading, of course, because I'm live and it just want to continue to be naughty with me. It's okay. It tests my patience. It does. But we're good. And so now we're going to just sew here. So to create the chain piecing effect, we're going to just go down this column. So I'm going to just go like this. And so this one now. And just go down the line. Now we are working on these two. We follow the same standard seam allowance for quilting. Now we go down the following row. And in these ones, we didn't have to match anything. And so we just go down this line. And now we go the following. This way we're gonna keep everything pinned together, and it's gonna make it so much easier to sew rows. Okay, now we got our last one this way. I'm just gonna line everything up, put under your dresser foot. All right. So now you can kind of cut that one. And then you have your first one right here. And then you're going to add it towards this way, making sure and checking your diagram, making sure that you're adding. And this way you get everything pinned together very nicely. Then you get your other one, you open it, and then you're gonna add and triple check that you're on the second row and you're adding your third square. Second row, third square. Continue down. Then you're gonna start at the third row, open right here, and then the third square, making sure it's the way it's supposed to. Line those up, making sure you line those up so the corners do match. Pin if you need to. Then open the fourth, and then now we're putting that one like so, and making sure they're nested. They're nice and nested because they're in the opposite way. And we're just going to keep on going. And then we're on our fifth, and then that one goes this way. And oopsies. That one goes this way, this one goes this way. And just making sure that my fabrics kept on the direction that I need. And this is my 6th row, third square in. And then I'm going to line those up, making sure everything is nice and good. So I'm just gonna show you, what does this do? This keeps your project all chain pieced together in a way that you don't have to use a lot of pins to get all your rows. So now you're gonna continue. So now we go all the way up to number 1 row. And now we're gonna add the 4 square, and they need to match. And so we get all that nice and set, making sure that we are lined up. We don't have thread. And so now we have to rethread again. And then after we're done chain piecing all of this together, we're gonna press it, and I'm gonna show you the final block. And it's gonna be so cute, which is gonna be nice, big, and perfect for so many projects. Like you can make a baby quilt, a throw quilt, just with this block, or the tote bag like I'm going to do, which based on the project that Jessica made for her blog. So we're just going to make sure that we're lining up. And now we go second, 4 square end. And I need to match, so making sure that we're lining everything together. Everything works. He keeps on snapping. Oh oh, he keeps on snapping. Oh oh. Of course he does. Because I'm on a live. Something's up with the thread. I don't know what it is. But anyways, now we're gonna triple check. Yeah, that one's gonna go like that. And so we gotta line up the top, making sure that we get those, we make those lines. Okay, so there we go. And so now we got that one that goes like this. And we just keep just using this method to join all of the different squares. And then now I'm gonna open that up. That goes like this. It's very fun when you get to do. Don't struggle with your sewing machine. I'm not used to this machine. It's a perfectly capable machine. I'm just not a good user. I'm used to my sewing machine, so at home, I'm at the studio, so I'll be fine. I'll just have to get to know the machine. And we got 2 more rows to sew, which is exciting. All right. Right. Got that one. So this is how it's looking. We I'm seeing the shape coming together. It's so exciting. So I'm gonna just continue, but I'm going to move this here so that way while I'm sewing, things are not Mhm. And so then that goes like that. And just always triple checking with your diagram, making sure that you are following the correct instructions. You don't want to turn a block accidentally. And then it's like, oopsie daisies. Then you'll have to rip it all out. And everybody wants to avoid that. And then we got the third one that goes this way. Very good. And then that one goes this way. And as you can see, I'm just following the diagram on the pattern. And then this one ends a blank square. And I guess kind of like the only thing that I'm showing is the efficient way of just chain piecing, how fast it goes together, and how fast this block is. Just making sure that I'm always double, triple checking the direction so that way I don't make a mistake. I'm gonna just leave the threads really big. And then I'm gonna go right on the very top. And that's gonna be the last one I'm going to, and then we're gonna press. And I'm gonna show you how I press so that my seams nest very nicely. So this one, the second one, the second row, and the last square, we are in a home stretch, guys, in a home stretch. And then now I got that one that goes this way, and then that one that goes this way. Perfect. And I feel like this block is a hidden gem that we can take advantage of it. Um, so we are 1, 2, 3 up, and that one's gonna go this way. Oh no, that one was right. The last one's gonna go that way. Yep. You see, I almost made a mistake. I was looking at the fifth square instead of the sixth square. And I was gonna make a boo-boo. And then in the straight, the solid, that one goes up. Oh, this was fun to make. That was very good. I've been live for 1 hour and 30 minutes, but I'm a slow sewer, I guess. But we cut all the fabrics. It takes a while to trim. That's the biggest part. Is trimming all the half square triangles. Okay, so now we have all our blocks. Oh, you can see it. So here, and you can see that everything is nice and together. So I'm just going to kind of show you how I would press this. So I will press, you can either press open But to nest the seams, you can press once to one side. So we're gonna go towards my left. So I'm gonna press my seams towards the left in this row, and just kind of like press them really nice so that they, and then this ones we're gonna iron the opposite way. And the second row, we're gonna iron towards the right side. So we're gonna go the opposite way. So we're gonna go this way, and everything is gonna go to my right. See how my iron is going to my right. And what that's gonna do is just that when I'm joining all of the intersections, I'm gonna get, they're gonna nest nice. Right. So now the following is gonna go towards my left. And so making sure you press very nice. And they just, you continue to go back and forth. And now this one goes this way, the opposite way. See? And just we continue to do that. And then that's gonna make it so much easier. Now this one goes to the right, to the left, sorry. And I'm just pressing to make our seams lined up. And very last one's gonna go towards me, towards the camera. Because I got the camera in front of me, so I'm ironing towards the camera. Just kind of keeping those mantras going. All right, and now I'm gonna move that. And so now what we're gonna do is that we're just going to fold the first row, right? And if you need to pin, feel free to pin. I am going to use clover clips to just kind of keep everything nice and together. So I'm just going to do that. And we got down. And just grip one in each intersection, like so. And so then we're going to just sew those first two together. I'm just gonna keep everything nice and set. And then here we go. We have joined the very first one. So now we're just going to, you can either press open or press to the side, however you want to. At this point, if your seams don't look super pretty, don't worry about it. down. And now what do we do? Now we go, and now we're going to fold that, and we're going to, once again, they're gotta be opposite ways, so we're gonna just join and put a club or a pen on every intersection. It makes it easier because we have them joined together by thread, so it's not like super moving a lot. And then that one goes, and then this one goes, and I have to do this opposite, or just do it open because I kind of messed up here. So I'm just gonna do it open, and no big deal. And now we're just gonna sew this together right here. And here we're gonna do this. All right. And then that now we have our third one. Look at how cute this is looking. Oh my God. And all those points. Wow. It is marvelous. I'm just pressing, moving my ruler, just keeping everything nice and pressed. It's just so cute. And can you believe this? A free pattern. Super cute that you can make so many projects with. It's just as I said, a hidden gem. You gotta go check out that blog. It's so pretty. And now I'm gonna just join the other one, and we're just going to continue this process for the entire remaining of the quilt. And it just goes together so easy. And this way, the way that we joined it, and keeping everything nice and together, just makes it so much easier, because then you don't have to keep track of rows. Everything is all together. It's just so. Here we have the other one. Oh my God, those colors just look so pretty together. Um, for anybody who didn't know, blue is my favorite color. Hence, Bluebell. And this gold just little project It just look magnificent with those colors. It's just such a nice pop of darks and lights and just makes it very pretty. So, and then now, look at that. Our very last, yeah, I'm past my time, but that's okay. This is a good project, nice and easy. Then we're gonna come back and work on the tote in 2 weeks and just create that. And it's gonna be so much fun, I promise. Last scene, and our vlog is ready. My pins are just falling everywhere. It's like, you're too fast, lady. There we go. We have a completed block. So I'm gonna just kind of trim those nasty threads. Very nasty threads. There we go. And here it is. Now I just gotta press it so it looks nice. We do have a lot of seams. So if you use a lot of steam, this is a good opportunity for you to use it. Just to kind of flatten those seams down. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Susan. Yes, it's a nice block. So I gotta make another one of these, and then we're turning this beautiful block in 2 weeks in a toe bag, which is gonna look so beautiful. So I really hope that you enjoy this visual on this very pretty blog that you can find at QuiltD Studios, which is linked. And that's just the final product. And it just looks so beautiful. And we went through all the different steps and the chain piecing and like the little uh, tricks that I use. And I hope you enjoy it and have a wonderful weekend and stay creative. Bye.